Yes, yes. Although the journey that I'm on probably started in 2007, right? Because that was when I left the army and came back home and really kind of started to work on uh, discovering who I was and who I was meant to be. I think that I really took it to a higher gear 6 years ago when I quit my job, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about on this video, right? I want to tell you guys a little bit about my journey and how 6 years ago I took it to a higher level, to a higher pitch, right? To a higher speed, because I got to a place where I was uncomfortable, right? I had a really good job with good pay, great benefits, and really great job security, right? But I was in a place where I just felt like I was unhappy, right? So I had the money, house, car, job security, all those good things, but I was unhappy. So I was waking up every day kind of forcefully and going to work forcefully because I wasn't really happy doing what I was doing, and that was no fault of that particular job, career, or the employer. It was more me. It was more me kind of getting bored, right? Getting to a point where I was there for 7.5 years, and I already felt like there was not much more for me to learn, not much more space for me to really grow there, right? And so I made the decision at that point in May of 2017 to leave that job, and it was something, it was something brave, that I had to do for myself because I knew that I was unhappy there, and that although I was starting to do things while I was outside of the work, I knew in my heart that it was time to leave that job so that I can do more throughout the day, right? That job, which by the way, I was a judicial marshal for the state of Connecticut. I worked at the courthouse in Stamford, Connecticut. But that job, it was a good job, but it was a job that took up most of my day because of the distance it was from my house. Uh, and what that meant, right? And so what that meant for me was that although it truly is about 20 minutes away from my house, because of traffic, it was anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half of traffic, one way, right? So put together, we're looking at close to maybe 3 hours of driving every day, depending on what time I left and depending on what was going on. And that was both, whether I was catching the train or driving my car, right? And so what happened was that I got to a point where I said, you know what, I really need more of my time to be able to work more on discovering who I was, right? And at that point, at the time, I didn't call it discovering. I called it finding, right? I wanted to find myself. I later learned that I was discovering, right? There's nothing to find. I wasn't lost. I just had to discover within me who I am, and what am I? What was my purpose here, for whatever the time is that I'm going to be blessed with life, right? And so 6 years ago, I decided to go ahead and take that leap of faith, and of course it was met with some kind of like it was met with some hesitation and some kind of like crazy looks from people who cared for me, right? People who cared for me who kind of said, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you sure you want to do this?" And I guess for me, because of where I came from, because of where I grew up, how I grew up, I really saw it as a win-win because there was no way for me to really lose. And I guess what I mean by that is that we grew up very humbly. We grew up in a way where we didn't we had what we needed, right? But we didn't have that much more than that, right? And so I was able to get myself into a place where I had a lot of what I needed and even more. And so I said, well, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that I lose, some of these things that I have. And I said, but I came from there. So if I was able to get here to where I am, at that point, that I could get back there again. And so that because of that thought, I said, you know what, the worst that can happen is that I lose everything, and I start from scratch. And I was okay with the thought of that. It was scary, yes, but I knew that I had to take that leap, and that leap really led me to just trying different things, and that's what I tried to instill and hopefully inspire other people to do is to start to taste different things, start to work on different things, start to really tap into those things that you like, those things that bring some sort of happiness or some sort of genuine, um I don't know, feelings in your heart when you do them, and start leading into those things and start doing those things more of, because that's the only way that you're gonna really discover what it is that you're meant to do for the rest of your life, right? And I think that just thinking about the money that you can get, or the materials that you can get from a particular career or a particular job, I don't think it's enough. I think when we first think about it, especially when we're coming from a place of not having much, I think that it sounds amazing to be able to get a lot of money and to be able to have a lot of material things that perhaps you couldn't afford when you were younger, or your parents couldn't afford. I think it sounds great, but it has been proven uh, through other people, right? And by the way, a good way to learn is from seeing what others do and how it has worked out for them. And I think it has been proven that there's more to life than just money and material things. And so, for me, when I left my job, I went on a journey of just working in different places, doing different things, tasting, a lot of tasting, right? I always say you can't tell me what your favorite dish is unless you try different dishes, right? And so don't tell me you love pizza and that's the best thing in the world if you haven't tried Indian food, if you haven't tried, I don't know, Puerto Rican food, if you haven't tried just some sort of seafood that you may have thought was disgusting or looked bad, but you haven't tried it. And so in order for you to say what your favorite dish is, you have to try different things. And the same thing goes for your life and for your career. Try different things, especially when you're younger. Try different things to, by the way, by younger, I mean 20s and even 30s. Like, just try different things to see what is that thing that really gives you goosebumps. What is that thing that really makes you feel, man, like this is it. And so that's what I did. I went on a journey of trying different things, and that journey led me to this, to the microphone. And I love the microphone. And it's funny because, there were signs along the way. I remember many times, here, where, at home and in school, and even when I was in the army, I remember people, saying to me, "Oh man, you have a great voice. You have a radio voice." I remember, being at different stores and people coming up to me and saying, "Oh my God, I heard your voice from a distance. Oh, I love your voice." And but I never really put two and two together. But it wasn't until I had the opportunity given to me to be in front of a mic and to hear myself, that I said, "Oh man, I love this. I love the mic. I love talking to people. I love just kind of interviewing and really getting to know other people with the mic." And so I knew that was one of those things, right? And then it wasn't until sometime later when I had the opportunity to speak about my journey, that right in the middle of me speaking, to a group of people that were that were there, as part of a meeting. It was when I had that aha moment that everybody talks about, and I knew, oh man, this is it. Like, I love talking. I got to put these together. I got to put the mic, and I got to put the fact that I love talking. I got to put those together, and really give birth to what I believe my purpose is, which is the purpose to inspire, and to inspire through my speaking, and to speak through my stories, right, and through the things that I've been through, and to hopefully impact lives and inspire others to go on their journey of inspiration, and their journey of purpose, and their journey of real discovery, right? And so that's kind of where everything started. That's kind of where my whole journey started, or where it was taken to another level, was when I decided to really go out there and start that search. And so I guess with this video, I wanted to share a little bit about why I quit my job, why I quit a great job after 7.5 years, and that was because I wanted to discover my purpose, right? And I think that I've succeeded in that. I'm still working on getting everything together, but I succeeded in what I wanted to do, which was to discover what was my purpose, why I was here. Often we ask ourselves, why am I even here? Like, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? This is not it. And so it worked for me that way. And so I wanted to share that, but I also want to share with you that I hope that you start your journey of discovery, that I hope that you start your journey of really tasting. I'm not advising you to quit your job. I don't think it's a good idea. But I am advising you to start to use your time wisely, especially that time that you're not in work. Use it wisely. Use it for you. Use it to start discovering who you are. Use it to taste different things, different places, different hobbies, different foods. Taste. Go tasting. That's the only way that you're gonna find out what your calling is. and what your purpose is. Guys, please go taste. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to this page and liking this video. And be transcendent.